today's news.
Ready for the eclipse.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of event.
Watching the weather.
I'm trying to make it do my no cloud dance.
The new plan for student loan debt interest costs could be cut by up to $20,000. Good morning, I'm Cammie McCormick.
And I'm Steve Kathan in Indianapolis with the CBS World News Roundup. Anticipation is climaxing here and all along a 100-mile wide path from Texas to Maine, where in just under 4.5 hours, the moon's shadow will begin sweeping across the country. A total solar eclipse. 32 million Americans live in the path of totality. Millions more have traveled here for the celestial show, making this the country's most viewed eclipse ever. We have team coverage this morning. CBS's Tony DeCopel is also here in Indianapolis.
No viewing site will be larger than the Motor Speedway in Indianapolis. Up to 50,000 people expected, many even camping out, for an experience that's described as
an amazing sky show that unfortunately is difficult to describe.
Paul Messerschmidt and his brother John are here for their 12th total eclipse between them.
It's an opportunity to kind of share a communal event and maybe have a few moments of peace and tranquility.
And after more than a half-century of chasing, it's now a family-wide event.
Chills. You know, when the total happens, it's just like the whole world changes.
What a lot of people are feeling right now in America is worry about the cloud cover. So let's go to Lonnie Quinn, who's in upstate New York, Wilmington. Lonnie, good morning. How's it looking?
Well, you know what? For some people, it's looking great. And for other people, it's not looking good at all. Simply put, you've got a low-pressure system around Texas giving really, really bad volatile weather. You have a high-pressure system off the East Coast giving really, really great weather. So the best weather of all is going to be in northern Maine. Enjoy it.
CBS's Janet Shamlian is in Kerrville, Texas this morning.
The consensus here is stay optimistic. Here in Kerrville, they're asking people to arrive at least 3 hours early. NASA's broadcasting live. They've got food trucks, they've got music, and of course, all the small towns in the Texas Hill Country are hoping to take advantage, get a little piece of the tourist pie.
I'm Chris Mavridis in Niagara Falls, where they're expecting about 1 million people to gather in Queen Victoria Park on the Canadian side. It's why the region's declared a preemptive state of emergency so they can get police and extra phone networks in place. Niagara Falls is smack in the middle of the blackout zone. The sun will be completely blocked here for about 3 minutes and 31 seconds. The traffic jam out of Niagara is expected to last about 6 hours.
By the time the eclipse ends in Maine at 3:35 Eastern Time, the path of totality will have crossed 15 states. But Cammie, everyone in the continental U.S. will experience at least a partial eclipse.
Steve, in Wisconsin today, President Biden will announce new plans to ease student debt. That includes canceling accrued interest for borrowers. The issue remains high on the agenda for younger voters. Here's our Ed O'Keefe.
We're talking about a plan that the Biden administration says would wipe out student loan debt for 25 million Americans. Focuses on those who owe more than their original loans and would apply to people who started paying back undergrad loans 20 or more years ago, and those who started loan repayment on graduate studies at least 25 years ago. It's also for eligible participants in the Save and Public Service Loan Forgiveness Plan. The new plan likely faces legal challenges. If approved, officials say some people start seeing relief early this fall.
Former President Donald Trump has announced his position on abortion this morning. He says it should be determined by the state.
The states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state.
It's an issue that could help decide the outcome of the presidential election as Republican-led states usher in a new wave of abortion restrictions. The Vatican has declared that gender-affirming surgeries are great threats to human dignity, putting them on par with abortion and euthanasia as practices that violate God's plan for human life. The Vatican rejects the belief that one's gender can be changed. 4 minutes past the hour. Legal.
Well, that's today's news. Today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dashcam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. It's 48 degrees in San Lorenzo, California.